The Mustard Show, sponsored by Ashdown Cleaning, your local commercial cleaning professionals, providing first-class cleaning services for your business facilities.
Hello and welcome to the Mustard Show, where we are at Latitude. One time of the year it's acceptable to cross that border over into Suffolk. Still bringing you the very best in comedy, music and theatre. We absolutely love Latitude Festival. Now, as you can see, I've done myself a bit of an injury. Let's say it was a breakdancing competition, which let's say I didn't win. So I'm not going to be able to do this whole weekend all on my own. So let me introduce you to Ryan Livermore.
Hello, Jake.
Hello, Ryan. Now, Ryan is basically going to do my donkey work for me. You're going to be walking around and doing all the hard stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my first Latitude experience. I'm going to be going around immersing myself. I'm going to speak to Sean and Mark Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see what the punters think of the festival and just get myself involved, really.
Mate, love it. So, Ryan, you go off, enjoy.
I will.
And this is your Mustard Show Latitude Special.
Nice to say, I'm joined by friend of the channel, Mark Thompson, astronomer Mark Thompson. Glad to see you again.
Good to see you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You're here at Latitude as well. Why are you here? Please tell.
I asked myself the same question this morning, but I came to bring a science show here. So part of the speakeasy part of the festival, where they've got people who've written books to come along and perform shows. So it's not music, it's not comedy, although I like to inject a little bit of that as I go along. But it was just to sort of get people involved in literature in some way. And I sort of started off the back of some of my books that I've written about space and science. I did a show here based on the tour around the universe.
And do you come to festivals like this often then to do this sort of thing?
Not as much as I'd like to. At the moment I'm touring around theatres. It's very difficult getting science in festivals because they're all about comedy and music. Can't sing, so there's no way in the world I'm going to get put into a music festival. So it's great to get science into festivals, but it's not common.
And what is the audience like? Because we were sat in the back watching you and we were fascinated by what you were saying, but you've not just got adults here, you've got kids as well. So how does everyone respond?
Yeah, and the beauty of science is that if you aim a science show at children, then most adults can get it as well. And that's because not a lot of adults know stuff about science. So if you aim it at a young audience, then actually adults can understand it and get it as well. Science can be really complicated. So you've got to really go back to basics to be able to understand and explain it to people, and that works really well.
Now, how do you make something like this engaging? Because it is very fascinating, but I can remember when I was these kids' ages that it would go over my head and I'd get bored straight away. But how do you make it engaging?
Secret, I think, is pink sheep. They are awesome,
of
aren't
course.
they? I can't stop
They're
looking
amazing.
at this. But
It's got stuff written on it.
I have no idea what that's all about. But no, so it's all about, I think it's about demonstration and changing it. Because if I stood talking for an hour with lots of pretty pictures, kids are going to get bored with that. And actually, some adults might get bored with it. But by mixing it up and doing a few demonstrations along the way, so today I was blowing up hydrogen balloons, because hydrogen was one of the first gases created in the creation of the universe, and used a demonstration around a hydrogen balloon to detonate that with a fireball. And just mixing up a little bit, I think keeps kids' interest there, and it seems to work really well.
So could you possibly explain
Pink sheep.
What's going on?
I think they've fallen in a candy floss machine. I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing candy floss sheep, possibly hydrogen based, because hydrogen gives off red light. So I'm presuming possibly some hydrogen candy floss is what's gone. I've been here too long already, I think.
What I love is that you've actually managed to turn it scientific.
I know, I was quite impressed with that so quickly as well.
Amazing. Mark, thank you so much. Have a good festival.
Been a pleasure, thank you.
So the creation was actually quite long. We had 6 weeks for each piece, but we've been performing it now for about 2 years, and this is our final show, so what a way to kind of go out on a high.
We're not so used to doing it open air with other things happening around us, so for us it's really unusual. We're so much more accustomed to being in a theatre that's quite dark. It's really quiet before the show and it's quite contained. and you can't usually see the audience either when you're on stage. But now it's really bizarre to be able to see the audience, and it's quite a nice energy to be able to feed from the audience as well, so it's cool.
I definitely think so, especially because it's the crossing of the bridge right here. They hear the music, not sure exactly what it is, not exactly sure what contemporary dance is, and hopefully after they've seen it, they'll want to see more kind of contemporary dance.
So next we are currently working on a new show that will be opening in October at Sadler's Wells Theatre. It's called 14 Days. It's comprised of 5 different pieces and 4 new works. So yeah, it's quite exciting. The idea was that each choreographer would have 14 days to create whatever they could come up with. So it's, for us it's exciting as well, for them as well.
We've got no masks in this one, but we do have a 10-foot seesaw which balances all of us on, so that might be quite exciting.
Really good. Yeah, really enjoying it. Total newbies though, so it's quite exciting.
I like it. It's a new experience. I'm not really used to festivals that much. I've only been to one before, so it is a nice experience.
It's worth it if you just want a nice chilled out time, just good music, everyone's on the same level. It's definitely the place to go.
Festival gets better every year. They get better facilities. They got swimming there now. It's great.
Love the swimming.
Yeah.
For the bands, we love the music. I'm looking forward to seeing Georgia Smith and Darren O'Brien. He's supposed to be on, especially on the time I've got a break, so it should be pretty decent.
We're very excited to see 1975 tonight, but definitely Loyal Kana on Sunday.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Fat Boy Slim. There are 3, so Two Door Cinema Club, 1975 and Mumford & Sons.
Delighted to say I'm now joined by James Skelly from the Coral. James, you've just come off the main stage here at the Obelisk. What was that like here at Latitude? Because you've been here a few times before, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it might be the 4th time I've played here. Yeah, brilliant. One of the best ones we've done.
Well, it's such an easy thing to say, isn't it, in terms of the festivals. You guys have been going for years now and playing gigs and tours and festivals non-stop. But in terms of how it does kind of mark up to all the rest, you know, it is a top one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites. Yeah, it's always got a good feeling when you're here.
But unfortunately, you guys, you're obviously up in the northwest. You've got to shoot off, so you can't really hang around for the rest of the festival. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I would have liked to watch Beak, Cabbage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Or even stay and watch like Fleet Foxes, but yeah, we've got a bit of a mission, so 6 hours.
Yeah, so Cabbage, they're a new one coming through this year. Have you gigged with them a bit this year?
Yeah, we've done a couple. I produced the EP that's just come out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a fan of them.
And there's a lot of love for Cabbage at the moment as well. So the Coral itself, you kind of had a little bit of a break. You're back again. You've obviously done kind of different projects as well. What's that like, doing these big gigs all over again? Is it like you've never been away?
You miss them, yeah. It's, I mean, all the festivals we've played have been the best we've done for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, we've got 8 albums worth now to pick all the best songs from. So. Yeah, enjoying it. And
you did come from that era, particularly with the first album. It was such an iconic one, isn't it? With so many, for any kind of indie lovers, there's some iconic songs which will never, ever kind of die away. But what was that like then introducing the new music as well? Because obviously, naturally, the crowd's going to come here wanting to hear some of those classics.
Yeah, I think the new ones are so good live, they just win people over. And I don't know, with Spotify now, I think people go, oh, and they check all your other tunes out, whereas they would have had to buy a CD, and where now they can just pick off, you know, all the tunes really, so it seems like they know a lot of them.
And how are you finding it kind of back again, kind of relaunching the new music in terms of, because maybe the crowd or the people listening to it may have changed. You know, how are you feeling kind of, you know, the welcome back for you guys?
It's been better for us. There's been young kids in every gig right in the front, and they all seem to just want to get into it, and we're a good band, so they seem to like it. Yeah, it's probably been the best we've had it for ages.
Yeah. And in terms of you guys' other projects and what you've got going on, what is it for the Coral?
We're doing a new album, do all the festivals. I'm doing a few bands, producing a few things, and then we're going to start a new album at the end of the year. Got all the songs.
Awesome. And just very quickly, other festivals people maybe go see you see you out this year?
And we're doing Penfest, Tramlines, headlining, Kendall Calling. So yeah, get down there.
Yeah, super. James, thank you so much for joining me, and have a safe trip back.
Man. Nice to meet you.
Cheers. Right, that's your lot for part 1. Ryan, how are you enjoying Latitude?
Right.
Great. What are you going to be doing after the break?
I'm going to go and ask the people of Latitude some silly questions, which will be good fun.
Awesome. I'm going to be speaking to the Mystery Jets, Franko Fraize.
Hey!
That's Franko Fraize. And funny man Joel Dommett. We'll see them too.
The Mustard Show, sponsored by Ashdown Cleaning, your local commercial cleaning professionals, providing first-class cleaning services for your business facilities.
Hello and welcome back to the Mustard Show, where we're now still at Latitude, of course, but in the Solus area, where it's kind of just a general chill-out area. You can get your massage, you can do your yoga. Ryan, what are you going to be up doing next?
Jake, do you want an ice cream?
Yes.
So would I.
Right, so Ryan's going to be asking gold like that to the festival goers here at Latitude. I'm going to go off and see if I can get some more big name interviews and head over to the comedy tent. Right, so there's huge big name band interviews here this weekend, which we're obviously going to get. There's also some great local artists as well. We're joined now by Franko Fraize and Tone. You've just been performing, haven't you, down at the In-Betweeners? First experience here at Latitude. What was that like?
First ever experience.
Yeah. First and last. I hated him.
That is lovely.
That's weird though, because obviously you're pretty local to Latitude. You've never been.
I know,
before.
never been here before. Never been invited to play. I don't know if there's an agenda against us. You know what I mean? I don't want to be classist, but it's quite middle classy. You know what I mean?
So that was the reason.
There's a lot of talk about falafels here, right? Falafels and iced tea.
We've been supporting and touring some big bands.
Yeah, we've done some real mad stuff around the country, like up north especially, and stuff like that. And I wanted to come back this year and see, like, just make sure that we had real cemented here, you know what I mean? And we went out and sold out the Art Centre. Hughes was there, we got it on Massive. We went out and sold the Art Centre early doors, and I feel like just that wave's continued, you know what I mean? But really this summer, like, we got to July, we've done Mayor's Carnival, we've done a lot of sort of festivals. We've got this, we've got Sundown coming up, and we've got some shows, city shows. We're going Brighton, we're doing Birmingham, we're doing Manchester. We're just going back to all them places we went on tour. Yeah, Sheffield next Friday at Tramlines. We're just going back, revisiting them places and seeing what's there now, you know what I mean? Because it feels like we built stuff, so it's nice. Hopefully we'll get there and there'll be people there.
Now the Franko Fraize name is definitely getting around, but Tone as well for yourself. Obviously, you do loads of other stuff as well as with Frankie, and tell us about that, because you've had a massive year, haven't you?
Yeah, it's last year sometime I got signed to Sony by Mr. Jam, of all people.
And tell us about that story as well. You're just telling me how
it's a random one. It's a random one. It's a random one. I was eating my dinner on the sofa, and I was on Twitter, and One Extra were doing like a One Extra's listening thing, like tweeting links to your songs, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I'll send them a link. And within sort of 10 minutes, Mr. Jam got back, and then he followed me, and then he DM'd me and was like, "What's your situation? Do you want to come for a meeting at Sony next week?" I said no, because I was busy. I had to fit a kitchen, so I didn't go. And that's the end of the story.
Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Nice. Shame we can't hang around for the whole weekend, but I'm sure we'll see you very soon. Lads,
listen, this is probably the best looking man on local TV.
Not true.
Girls, get his number, honestly.
Sorry, guys, 2 seconds. Does my shirt make you feel ill?
Sorry?
Does my shirt make you feel ill?
Does a little bit, yeah.
Bye then. Guys, is there anything better than a festival?
Nothing.
Yes, there is. Really good book. Goodbye. Excuse me, guys, can I borrow you for 30 seconds, please? Okay. On a scale of 0 to please, how fabulous do the sheep look?
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good.
So, what was the inspiration for your outfit today? Was it Jack Sparrow?
No, hang on. That's suggesting something really wrong with the sheep. That's not good.
You sick man. Would you like to win the chance to meet the 1975 after their set tonight?
Okay, Sharp, I'm going to win this for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so would I. Oh well. You guys having fun? Guys? Don't know why they're not. Tina, where did you get this hat? More importantly, why did you get this hat? Oh, Jesus Christ. Guys, are we enjoying Glastonbury? Yeah! It's Latitude. How much did these cost?
Wow, how much do you think they cost?
Really? Really?
Tiger dollars.
Tiger? What tiger?
Ipswich.
Oh.
Right, so we are backstage at the comedy and I'm joined now by none other than Joel Dommett.
None other.
None other. How was that?
Yeah, fun.
Yeah?
I had a really nice time. I really like doing festival gigs. Like, it's all quite high energy, and so it's quite it's nice. I feel like it's easier for me than it is for someone who's sort of downbeat.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just sat on the floor and just kind of tired.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but we've been saying that the comedy lineup here is always amazing. It's always amazing, but the comedians love coming back here.
Yeah.
Every single. Why is that? Because other festivals do things like this, but none perhaps quite as well as Latitude.
It's a nice vibe, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a couple of weeks before Edinburgh Festival, so it's just like a nice little bit before, before the seriousness starts. And it's just like a really lovely vibe. There's a theatre tent and it's just like sophisticated and nice, and the comedy lineup's always really good. There's loads of comedians on. You've also got the cabaret stage, there's loads of comedians there, and the literary tent, there's lots of comedians on there, and so it's just a nice little community. It's like a little...
But what's it like when you're out there on the stage? Because I presume when you do big shows, usually there's lots of lights, you can't perhaps see a load of the crowd.
Yeah.
Or if you're in a TV studio, it's just completely different. It's basically like a huge marquee, you can see everyone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of everything.
It's very different.
Amplified different, isn't it?
It's very different.
Yeah.
You kind of get used to it.
Do you prefer it, or is it a little bit harder?
It's just a different gig. Like you can't base it on like a normal sort of theatre tour show or something, because there it's just like they laugh and it goes bah. Whereas here it's much more sort of ambient and chilled. Whereas you're like, oh, am I having a bad gig? And then they'll go bah, and you're like, oh, I'm having a fine gig.
It's good.
You just got to not get in your own head. Yeah. Festival gigs are like harder. They just are harder. But like, I really love them. I think they're great.
You're just saying as well, you stayed here last night.
Yes.
You struggled, you didn't like it.
I'm very tired.
Which I find really odd, considering you did I'm a Celebrity. And how long were you in there for? Literally
3.5 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, but you couldn't do one night at Latitude.
Well, there you you fall asleep. It's honestly the best night's sleep I've ever had in my life was...
But in the jungle?
The best. I was really worried about it. In fact, the people who booked me for it just said that. But I said to them, the big worry, I was like, I don't sleep very well away from my house. Like, I just, if I'm not in a comfy bed, if I sleep around other people, I find it really difficult. And they were like, trust us, you will have the best night's sleep you've ever had. Yeah. And I was like, really? And they were like, there was an insomniac, we had him 1 year, he slept for the first time in his life. And I was like, oh, okay. And so true. You go in there, first night's a bit weird, but then because you're not having any sugar, you have so little food, you have no coffee. Yeah, like it's just you're so tired that you just literally you would get in your hammock, you close your eyes, and you'd open your eyes in the morning. It's the best sleep ever.
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? Because I've been here 2 nights now, and I can't do it at all. I cannot do it at all. But
horrible.
Some of the other stuff you had to do on I'm a Celeb, what was kind of the best and worst of it?
Best stuff I suppose was like just doing the experience. Like it's just insane because I'm never going to do that again in my life. Like when am I ever going to do something where I don't have a phone for like 3.5 weeks? Like no contact outside the world. It's like that's mad. Like in this modern world, that is so difficult. And it just really changes your priorities and stuff. And it's just such a lovely experience. It's really difficult. It's way more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. But when you get out the other end, you're like yes.
I bet.
Yeah,
I
can't wait to tweet.
Your plan for the rest of kind of the day, weekend, can you hang around or not?
I'm going to hang around for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to go home tomorrow. If there's a lift home tonight, I might go home tonight. But
Joel Dommett not get a lift home.
Might get.
You wait for your mum to pick you up.
If anyone can give me a lift home, I'll go tomorrow.
Is that all right?
I did that 1 year.
Yeah.
Probably about 5 years ago.
What, basically just hitchhiked home?
I had a guest ticket, which you get when you perform. When you have a guest ticket. And so I was like, look, I've got a guest ticket. Who wants to drive me to Latitude and back? And I tweeted it, and then I picked the person that looked the least
brave.
brave.
Yeah, that's brave.
Took me to Latitude and drove me home. It was great.
That's awesome.
It was so great. So great. So irresponsible.
Yeah, massively. But
I don't think I could do it.
You're still
now.
here to tell the story.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Awesome. Joel, absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, man. Thank you so much
for taking the time out. And yeah, thank you.
Bye bye, mustard.
That's amazing. Oh. Right, well, I'm delighted to say I'm now joined by the guys from the Mystery Jets who've just come off the main stage. What was that like?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Amazing, yeah. Incredible festival. It's great. Like, so often when you play quite early on in festivals in the day, you have to kind of warm people up. But I think at Latitude, there's just this wonderful vibrancy to the festival, and everyone arrives with smiles on their faces.
No, absolutely. It's the Friday afternoon. You know, people might not be, shall we say, as lubricated as what they will be kind of later on for some of the acts. And I presume you know what it's like. It maybe could be a little bit harder to get the crowd going, but they were really going for it today, weren't they?
Yeah. We didn't need to work very hard at all. They were circle pitting in the first song, so it was great.
They're right at the beginning of this Latitude adventure that they're all on, and that's so they're in good spirits.
And talking of that Latitude adventure, this isn't your first time here, is it?
No, we've been many times. Yeah.
Why do you keep coming back?
I've actually been just as a punter a couple of times, and as well as playing, and I really like it. I think it's a beautiful festival, and I've seen it when it was a tiny little festival.
I mean, it's grown, hasn't it, so much over the years?
Yeah, but in a good way. I think it's grown in a good way, and there's still a really nice environment and atmosphere for people to just have a good time, and it's just great music.
Yeah. We mainly come for the coloured sheep.
Talking about kind of Latitude, reasons why we love it. Last year we had some headliners. They were the Maccabees. I know you're good friends with those guys. You've just done kind of their farewell tour, and what kind of about that? You know, it's a bit kind of rare, isn't it, for a band to actually do an actual farewell and actually say, look, we're going to stop. Usually, kind of they just kind of slowly kind of disappear. What was kind of thoughts on that? Because I know you're good friends with them.
I think it's very honourable, you know, for a band like that to sort of bow out at their absolute peak, and
because people were surprised, weren't they? Because they'd just done their first headline show, and then they said, look, you know, we're not going to do it anymore. We're done, and people were obviously very surprised by that.
I think that's fantastic. You know, they've decided to make a very concise musical statement, and I have a huge amount of respect for that. Yeah. So it was, as Will said, it was an absolute privilege to be there for their final farewell shows, and you know, the last one at Alexandra Palace. Anyone who was there watching this will agree with us that it was an incredibly emotional moment, and we were all choking back the tears as they played the final notes of Pelican. But you know, they're a fantastic band. They've meant a huge amount to all of us as fans and as you know, as peers. So
I couldn't tell whether I was sweating or crying.
Sweating out of your eyeballs.
They taste a bit different, don't they?
They do taste a bit different.
That's the salty
Sweat's
stuff, isn't it?
not the good stuff.
Anyway, enough about that. Back to you guys. What can we expect from you in terms of touring? If people want to come out and go see you guys, what have you got on for the rest of the year?
Well, there's something we're doing called Jetrospective, which is 5 nights at the reopening of the Garage in London. Okay. And we're playing an album on each night. So 5 nights, 5 albums.
So if people were particular fans of a particular album, they can pick a certain night and go see that. That's awesome. That's different. What made you decide to do that?
I think it was just a chance to kind of revisit our sort of. I guess like the headspaces we were in at different points.
Because bands often do like anniversaries. They say 10 years after a huge album, they'll play that album in full as a gig. But for you to decide, look, we've got 5 albums, we're going to do one for each night.
Well, we've always liked to challenge, and I think the challenge of learning about 58 songs was one that was just too good to turn down. We've no idea how we're actually going to start preparing for it. Probably leave it to the last moment in true Mystery Jet style, but it's great. You know, it's going to be chaos, but hopefully beautiful chaos.
No, I'm sure it'll be absolutely awesome, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking out the time to speak to us. Go enjoy Latitude.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Right, and that is your lot for the Mustard Show Latitude special. Ryan, how have you enjoyed your first Latitude experience?
Such a good time, Jay. Such a good time. I think the 1975 my highlight
for you. No, I agree with that as well. Mumford and Sons as well were amazing yesterday. So Latitude, you've smashed it again, and we will definitely be back next year. So until then, goodbye.
The Mustard Show, sponsored by Ashdown Cleaning, your local commercial cleaning professionals, providing first-class cleaning services for your business facilities.